Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on what. Did I just the mic? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this video. Today, I'm going to be discussing a very heated, controversial person, a public figure, Andrew Tate. He's a very controversial person, and today I'm going to be talking about him, who he is as a person, his webcam business, and lots of things that have recently been viral. I'm going to be talking about his arrest, my conspiracy theories about it, as well as my own opinions on him. And disclaimer, if you do not like Andrew Tate, then I feel as if, and you are not very open minded, let's say that, this video is not for you because I'm going to be saying my own opinions about him, and lots of people might disagree with me. That's fine. We're not here to agree with everyone. But for those ones that don't like him but are open minded to hearing me talk about him, then I mean, this video is for you. Emery Andrew Tate III was born on December 1st, 1986. He is an American British social media personality, businessman, and former professional kickboxer, winning titles such as the British ISKA, Full Contact Cruiserweight Championship, and then ISKA World title, winning it twice, making him world champion in two weight division, ranking number one in Europe in his division and second best light heavyweight kickboxer in the world. This guy is a fighter. He's very good. He was a guest in Big Brother in 2016, but he was ejected from the game due to an online video of him hitting a woman. Tate and the woman later said that it was consensual. I guess it was like some sort of kink that they had between them. So basically, Andrew Tate has a webcam business where he employs, I think, about 75 women, where they basically sell online sob stories, as he likes to call it, to vulnerable young men. And I'm going to talk about the irony in that. To vulnerable young men who are desperate for women's attention, desperate to please a woman, would pay for, like, let's say $4 per minute to have a discussion or to talk with this woman, and then even donate to the woman. So a stop story could be, oh, I'm trying to get to the UK, my visa's not being approved, and I'm an immigrant, and I'm just trying to make a better life for myself. And the man would feel so sorry for this woman and decide, okay, I'm going to send you a couple of money or a couple of pounds even for you. And it's not even a couple. People will be sending thousands of dollars and pounds to these women that they've never met before, only online and only seen or texted. That's all they've ever known for this person. But because they're vulnerable and they're so desperate to have a woman's connection, that they would go to these drastic measures in order to pursue it. And Andrew Tate's very honest about this. He's not secretively doing this, so he's very honest. He had put a video right now.
7 years ago, whenever this was,
Yeah.
it wasn't nearly as big. And I found this little webcam thing, and I was like, this might be some money. So I text all my girlfriends, I think it was 5 of them, text all 5, said, you're all coming here to live with me and work with me. None of them knew about each other. Bro, Tristan will tell you the story. He'll tell you. All 5 flew in, picked them all up. They're all sitting there. I sat them around the same table. bro, I need to get paid. Right? I'm broke now. I'm retired from fighting. I have no money. I'm running out of money. So I put them all around the same table, and I was like, look, we're going to start a webcam business. You're going to stay. You're going to live in London. I'm going to look after you, and we're going to get rich. We're going to be a team. Long story short, 3 left, 2 stayed. Those are my first 2 girls, and we started this little webcam business from my apartment. And it just grew and grew and grew. And it got to the point where at one point I had 75 women working for me in 4 locations.
Sub stories could range, again, like I said, from wanting to get a visa to the UK to wanting to pay school fees, tuition. You have sick family members. Like, all of it, according to Andrew Tate at least, is all fake. These are women who are beautiful and are young and just, want money quick and, would go to Andrew Tate and be like, look, I want money quick. And he would employ them to his webcam business, and they would sell these sob stories and text them, maybe video call the guys, and every single minute is $4. And the 40% of the monetary value that they earn will go to the woman, and the rest would go to the webcam business. This is undeniably, objectively truthful. Andrew Tate is a controversial man. This guy started, posting videos on YouTube and on the internet, telling young men how to be rich and successful, and to not follow the matrix, or to just be focused and well driven in order to achieve success and things like that. That's his like mantra of preaching. And like I said, I was going to explain the irony is just that he has a webcam business where he basically exploits on vulnerable men, and at the same time he has a lot of like preachers and towards young men who are vulnerable. First of all, they're young, so it's like you exploiting them, but you're also trying to help them at the same time. So that's the thing that I don't like about Andrew Tate. But yeah, in today's society, young men, particularly if you're white, cis, hetero, I can't even say hetero, sexual guy, then they're told by society because you're a man, your opinions and feelings are invalid and doesn't matter. They see Andrew Tate, they see the success that he has, they see the money, the cars, the homes, the girls, all of this stuff, and they see it online because he does project these things online, and they'll be like, "Oh, I want that. That's something I want." He's a very masculine guy. He shows a lot of traditional masculinity, like, oh, that you gotta be fed, you gotta protect and provide for your family, your woman, all these type of things, and young men typically would want that, and they see that in Andrew Tate, and they're like, you know what, that's true, or I like this, and then also at the same time, to lots of people that are not traditional, if you're a feminist, for example, you're not traditional in in the house and things like that, the way he says it and what he says may seem hurtful, but it's a lot of truth that he says, at least for the young men. Now you can debate that whether it's wrong or right. That's just something that he says, and because it's true to so many young men, people would look at that and would keep on following, because it's like you're speaking the truth basically. On the flip side, I can also understand why so many are angered by Andrew Tate, or find him annoying, or find him sexist or homophobic or misogynistic. Now, for me personally, I don't think Andrew Tate is a misogynistic person. I'll put up the definition. The reason why a lot of people, not even feminists, finds him annoying also as well is because he has said some things that it's stupid, or he probably making a joke, people don't find that funny, or he actually says like some stuff that people can get offended by. So for example, there was this one TikTok.
Yeah, girls shouldn't drive. Yeah, haram.
Yeah. So
Wait, what was that? It's haram for girls to drive.
Of course it is. I believe that females panic quicker than men. I believe that's evolutionary. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We have different roles in society and life. Women do different things better than men. However, when it comes to high stress environments, the fact that a woman is capable and intelligent doesn't actually apply, because she will panic under pressure.
Or he says, I wouldn't want a female pilot flying me if the plane was going down.
You're telling me if you were to fly into a hurricane and you had the choice between a male pilot and a female pilot, you wouldn't have zero preference at all, Dave?
Not knowing anything about either of them, they're both pro pilots. No, I wouldn't. We're not talking about dunking a basketball.
Well, I would choose a man, because I know from my own personal experiences that when shit hits the fan and emotions are high and it's life or death, that the man is more likely to remain calm. And calm is what's going to keep me alive. So I would choose the man. For the same reason, I would choose women to do other things.
So a lot of these people, would see that and be like, well, that's not right. Women can do exactly just what men can do. And I would agree to an extent. I think that, women and men are very similar. So he preaches a lot of these masculinity vibes to young men, teaching men how to be better, people in society, and not even people, better men in society. And, because the idea of strong masculinity is under threat today and is deemed toxic by feminists, they then attack, the sword. On December 29, 2022, the police arrested both Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, and as well as two women. All four are charged with human trafficking and forming an organized crime group. The judge decided to extend the arrest to 30 days, so they remain in custody. The Tates appealed the extension, but the appeal was rejected on January 10th.
The Romanian authorities took their cars and their properties that belonged to Andrew Tate. Remember, keep in mind, they're not being sentenced to jail or prison because of a charge. So technically, all of their assets and their cars and stuff like that still belong to the Tate brothers. And I don't know what law says that you can take their property once the police starts investigating someone. So this kind of thing, to me at least, it kind of smells very fishy. So I don't know if Romanian government is corrupt, because if it is, then I understand where they come with this logic. But I do not know where you would be seizing people's properties and assets if they have been, identified, or if they're alleged to commit a crime and they're being investigated. Andrew Tate specifically, before he got arrested, would go on about the Matrix, right? He would go on about the Matrix and he'd say that because he preaches a lot of things that are very influential to young men, and men are very, and young men in particular, have a very big impact on the world. They've been known to shape the world, to influence the world, because of their characteristics and their traits and the way they dominate generally, the way men just dominate things and generally. So if you're able to influence the future basically by having your certain narrative being put out there, then you're a very powerful guy. And if it goes against what the elite people believe, then they want to eliminate that narrative. Because if you're not pushing my narrative, then I want to get rid of you. So he's like, they'll try to cancel you, which they did. They'll try to put you in prison, which they did. And if that doesn't work, they'll kill you. Him going to prison just made him even more viral. Made people even talk more about him. Made people watch his videos more. So this guy's famous right now, and his arrest just made him even more famous instead of doing the opposite, right? So if he comes out and if he is found to be guilty of these charges, it wouldn't necessarily make all of his followers just all of a sudden not like him. Because two things can be true at once. You can be a person that does bad things, and you can also be a good person that does good things. You can preach to young men and be an influence to young men while also doing bad things. And in fact, I feel like his fame will even exceed, and so many people wouldn't want to believe that, he is capable of doing these things. It's the idea that the elite of the world keep us, the vulnerable people, by making us work for them, because there's something valuable about us, and it is our ability to work, so that they can, be kept in those positions of power. And they limit our thinking abilities, the ability to challenge some social standards, or to even think outside of the box. And they distract us so that we won't be able to, see it and decide, to protest, because there's something valuable about us that they want. Very similar to the movie. Maybe, just maybe, something drastic is going to happen. Maybe there's going to be COVID-19 coming back again in terms of big numbers, right? We know in China, numbers are skyrocketing again. Maybe Joe Biden is going to die. I don't know. Something drastic is going to happen. Something that's going to take people off of this Andrew Tate thing, right? Maybe the Prince of the United Kingdom is going to die. Something. And then all of a sudden, secretly, Andrew Tate might end up dying of a heart disease. We know that he does have a rare heart disease, and people are going to say, okay, yeah, he died of that, maybe because of the stress or something, and he is going to be found guilty of all these crimes and charges, even though there's not going to be enough substantial evidence and he is gonna die. And then all of a sudden, this big drastic thing in the event that happens is gonna keep people preoccupied. Yes, there's gonna be something that's gonna happen, but it's either he's either gonna die or he's gonna be found guilty of it with little evidence. That is just my theory. That is just my speculation.
Mira, you are building upon. This is what we call toxic masculinity right here.